Welcome. My name is Draft Raw, and if you have been following me or haven't seen any of my videos, right now I am currently doing a 32 for 32 series that is 32 NFL team drafts, recaps for 32 straight days. And if you can tell by the title, this is going to be about the Kansas City Chiefs, the Super Bowl champions. Now, to just retrack and give y'all a recap of what I've already done the NFC and AFC North. Then I've done the NFC, AFC East, and I've already done the NFC West, and now I'm in the AFC West. So, without further ado, I'm not going to waste your time. Let's just get straight into it. With the very first pick, the Kansas City Chiefs decided to select Clyde Edwards-Helaire, running back, LSU. Now, this is a power back. This is a really big guy. But one thing that I always look at when I'm studying running backs is that if you are a big guy, even if you're not a big guy, do you fall forward? You may say, well, why is falling forward a big deal? Obviously, a running back can't break every single tackle. So when they do get tackled, the question is, do they fall forward? Falling forward gives you those extra 1 or 2 yards that you need. If you're the type of running back that when he gets hit, you fall to the side a lot or you fall backwards, you're not getting the extra yardage. It shows a little bit of a fight in a player, a little bit of that dog in him to say, hey, I'm going to get these yardage. I'm going to get the yards I'm supposed to get. And even if it's not the first down, I'm going to try to get as close to the first down or touchdown as possible to give my team a chance. One thing that I found about Clyde Edwards-Helaire was that he doesn't fall forward. And like I said, that's a big deal for me. And it's not to say he's going to be a bad running back, because Saquon Barkley doesn't fall forward all the time, or just most of the times. And he's still one of the best running backs in the league. But to me, that's a huge thing. I think he's a good receiver out the backfield. I think he has a really, really good spin move. He's big, but he's not as powerful as I want him to be. Just those two cons. I think that, as big as he is, he's not like tall, but just the width, the girth of him, as big as he is, he's more finesse than anything. And it's a little bit weird because, as a big guy, you want a big guy to play big. You don't want him to play too finesse. Because, like I said, those extra yardage, those little stuff that you really need, you question if he can give it to you. And Clyde Edwards-Helaire is nothing like a soft player. He's not soft at all. It's just that the style of running back that he is, it fits the team, the Super Bowl champions Kansas City Chiefs. It really does, in terms of what they have used to having with guys like, even when y'all picked up LaShawn McCoy later, this past year. But it's one of those things where just to be able to be that big time running back that will give you that extra boom. I don't know if Clyde Edwards-Helaire will give it to you. But I think that he is a really, really good solid running back that gives you big time third down potential as someone coming out the backfield or even as a receiver. With the very next pick, they decided to select linebacker from Mississippi State, Willie Gay Jr. Now, Willie Gay, to me, just reading my notes, the only thing I had down for him was that he was a coverage linebacker. Just a straight up cover guy. He needs to get better and learn how to take on blocks, shed blocks, and tackle. And he's not a bad tackler. There's no stretch, he's not like he's just terrible at tackling. But the physicality of the game. I think that his athleticism shows up a lot. I think that you can put him one-on-one with tight ends, even slot receivers, because I believe he has the speed to be able to keep up with those type of players. And like I said, it's just the cover skills, period. He's got that ability. And I don't know who the depth chart of the Kansas City Chiefs in general, but I know that there's a premium all the time on linebackers that can cover. And if y'all already have a linebacker on your team that's a really, really good run stuffer, he's a thumper, he likes to really put his nose into things, now you have a more athletic guy that can take on the tight ends and the slot receivers that you're going to be facing. And just a guy that can go out in coverage. Running backs, tight ends, slot receivers, whatever, he's the guy that can give you that extra little spark in the passing game, especially with the way that the league is going with a lot of passing. Definitely with the tight ends, obviously with Travis Kelce. So you see what I'm saying when I'm getting there. Next, they decided to select TCU offensive tackle Lucas Nang. I don't know how to say his last name. I think it's Nang. From the notes and what I remember about him, he was a typical right tackle, great run blocker, solid in pass block, and moves really, really well. For as big as he is, he moves pretty well. The way that his feet set in pass protection, and like I said, he's a typical right tackle. I don't know if he has the feet to switch over to being a left tackle. And I'm not saying, the Kansas City Chiefs, they don't need a left tackle, but and I'm not even sure if they need a right tackle in general as in terms of a starter, but you did choose him in the 3rd round. I don't know if it's a situation where you're going to play him at guard. I'm not sure about that, but I know that he's a pretty solid offensive lineman that gives you great blocking in the running game, which is something that, Kansas City could really, really use. When you pick up Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the 1st round, having another big guy in front of him to be able to move the pile, and you're bringing something that you really, really need for this team. And the Kansas City, they love the passing game, but we all know in the Andy Reid offense, they love to run the ball. LaShawn McCoy, Brian Westbrook, you name it, they love running the ball. And this is just another big guy that they can put in front, whether he plays a swing tackle or he becomes a starter at the guard position or even the right tackle position. This is a really, really good solid pick for the Super Bowl champions. With the very next pick, y'all decided to select defensive back, and I say defensive back, L'Jarius Sneed. The reason why I say defensive back is because he was a corner that was switched to safety this year. I don't think he's a safety. I think that he's a press man corner. From the stuff that I watched from back a couple of years, even last year, he's a press man corner. He has some ball skills. You can see the instincts in his ball skills, and he's pretty physical. I think that he can bring something to the Kansas City Chiefs team. I think that they already kind of have that type of corner. But this is another guy that can bring something to the team in terms of being possibly a ball hawk. I think that he those ball skills that he has, he can really work on that, and become a really, really good corner in this league. Just like what y'all used to having Marcus Peters. But I think overall he's just a straight up press man. I don't think he's a typical zone guy. And I believe, I may be wrong, but I believe during the playoffs y'all played a lot more man. I forgot what it was. Y'all played either a lot more man or a lot more zone. It was something that y'all did, and y'all switched it up, and it worked for y'all in y'all defense. But I know what Andy Reid wants to do, and I believe he wants to play a lot more man. If he can take out big-time receivers and using corners that can run man-to-man, it can really improve his defense and stifle offenses so his team can get back out there and score even more points. Then with the very next pick in the 5th round, y'all decided to select Michael Dana, defensive end / defensive tackle from Michigan. The reason why I even say defensive end, defensive tackle, because I think he's a typical 5 technique. He didn't play 5 technique at Michigan. They played in a 4-3, but you've seen him lined up on the edge and on the inside. The biggest problem is that he only uses a bull rush. I never really saw him use a bunch of other things, trying to use his hands to do anything. But I know that a big pro for him is that he stays active. He doesn't quit on the play. He has a great motor. He keeps going and going and going until he can make the play. Pretty solid guy. I don't expect him to possibly be a starter in this league, but definitely a good rotational player that the Kansas City Chiefs done picked up. And then with the very last pick, this is probably one of my favorite picks from the Kansas City Chiefs in this draft. And that was Bo Peep Kies, cornerback from Tulane. The reason why I like Bo Peep is that he prevents separation in man coverage. Sometimes guys can get behind him with some speed. He's not the fastest guy in the world. But, you know, it happens occasionally. And I think the biggest reason why it happens is because he has really, really good ball skills. I think he trusts himself to be able to use his athleticism to jump in the air and knock down passes and even get interceptions. He's a pretty instinctive guy when it comes to that. And there wasn't a lot of times where the ball was thrown to him and he didn't turn back to look for the ball. That's huge for corners coming out of college into the NFL. He has really, really quick feet and he has very smooth hips. I think that he's a guy as a cornerback that can actually be better than L'Jarius Sneed, who y'all picked earlier. I think that he's an underrated player that could actually end up being not just a starter, period, but being a possible guy that can be all pro or Pro Bowl, at least a Pro Bowler within the NFL. His ball skills is unmatched to anybody. There's only a couple of guys that came out of this draft as corners that had really, really good ball skills. And actually, L'Jarius Sneed teammate Amik Roberts has really, really good ball skills, but it wasn't a lot. And Bo Pete Keys gives the Kansas City Chiefs that extra ball skills that maybe they don't get from L'Jarius, but he does have some. But he gives them that extra ball skills to, like I said earlier, to be able to take the ball away from the opposing offense and give the ball back to the Kansas City Chiefs offense to be able to score more points and Patrick Mahomes to go off. So anyway, that was the very last pick in the draft. If you like this video, please hit that like button. Please subscribe if you want to see more of me. There is more videos in the description box below. All of the past videos that I talked about earlier in this video. And I even talk about even the future videos that will be coming up. If you want to see more of me, like I said, and want to know how to reach me or pretty much when I'm going to put out videos, please hit that notification bell and make sure that you hit all and not personalized so you can get all of Draft Raw videos that do come up. Once again, my name is Draft Raw. I thank anybody for watching. Goodbye.